When creating a level in Geometry Dash, every unnamed level is automatically given the name Unnamed Zero. And well, the first ever level to be created after the release of Update 2.2 happened to be named just that. And even though this level was the first ever platformer to be made in 2.2, it ended up being one of the hardest challenges any speedrunner could attempt, even 2 years later. This is the story of how one speedrunner in particular broke this level, found multiple insane skips, and got a world record that is nearly unbeatable for years to come. Let's start at the beginning. The player to discover this level went by the name Petrish. This player uploaded a completion of the level in practice mode in a video titled Hard 2.2 level called Unnamed Zero. This video was pretty unknown as it only had about 10 views until just last month, but in this video, the player showcases the level and its difficulty by taking over 4 minutes to beat it in practice mode. 3 months later, there was another player, Free Cheese, who found this level while using an algorithm to find old 2.2 levels and discovered the ID of the first 2.2 platformer. That level ID led to this level. It was made by a creator called Noob11E and was called Unnamed Zero. Free Cheese decided this would be a good level to try and speedrun due to its difficulty and upload a video of their best run on their channel, and people realized its true difficulty. As in the description it read, "This run took me over 3 days to achieve and over 10,000 attempts. If anyone wants to beat this run, you are gonna have to be ready for the grind." This got the attention of other speedrunners in the community, and suddenly the race had begun to perfect this level. Over the next week, multiple new competitors took their shot at speedrunning this level, with one of those players being Land US. This player would stream themselves attempting runs on the level every day, and it only took them about 3 days to beat the previous record using a newly discovered skip in the level. But before I talk about the skip that was found, let's go over the gameplay itself. There are 3 main sections to the level, with the first being the hardest. It contains multiple frame-perfect inputs with very confusing gameplay, but luckily it's overall not too long, with it only taking about 15 seconds to pass with no mistakes. The hardest part about it though is that the movement needed to pass some of these jumps. The timings themselves are still difficult, but with sections like this jump here, the movement needed makes it much more difficult to pass. Not to mention there are also micro clicks in this section, where it's nearly a frame-perfect release just to get past this one jump alone. The second section of the level begins to get more tame with the difficulty. The balancing is all over the place though, with the first part having some incredibly hard jumps before going to a super chokeable ship section, before finally reaching some cube gameplay that's fairly easy to get consistent at with practice. And once you pass all of that, you reach the final section of the level, which is only a few cube jumps to the finish. Beating the level is already hard enough, so speedrunning it is just insane. Yet Free Cheese and Land US still went ahead and did it. Land US was the first player to discover a skip in the level, and the crazy part is, they not only found 1 skip, but 2. The first skip was located near the beginning, and it was fairly easy to understand, but very difficult to perform under pressure, skipping nearly 5 seconds of gameplay. This skip was already insane enough, but luckily for Land US, the second skip was much easier. For the skip, all the player had to do was go above the cube portal here, and they were able to skip all the cube jumps that go directly to the end of the level, allowing for an insane world record time. Only the second skip was used in the world record done by Land US though, since doing the normal speedrun route without any skips was already extremely difficult. Although no one else was streaming their progress, Free Cheese was still grinding the level, often making community posts stating their progress and runs on the level, with them also mentioning some skips they found on their own. Yet unknown to both Free Cheese and Land US, another player was on the rise to fame and also grinding the level, and just 2 days after Land US broke Free Cheese's record, this new speedrunner suddenly broke the record using the Section 2 skip found by Land US, using more optimized movement and speed to achieve a better time. This player's name was Poink. This world record won't stand for too long though, as this player didn't use any new skips that the other 2 players haven't, so the race continued. Free Cheese continued to grind away at the level over the next few days, mentioning they had died at the end of Section 2 after completing both skips in the same run, and also dying at the final section due to nerves. But ultimately, 9 days after Poink's world record, Land US would come out of nowhere and eventually beat the world record by an insane lead, completing both skips in the same run with near flawless movement. improvement. But just when Land US thought he had the world record in the bag, a new skip was discovered out of nowhere by Poink. The skip was one of the hardest of them all, being nearly impossible to do in a normal run. At least that's what I would say if this skip wasn't the very first jump of the level. Luckily for Poink, the original creator of Unnamed Zero didn't realize doing a jump from the edge of this spike here all the way to the other side of the spike wall was actually possible, skipping 3 whole jumps, saving another 3 to 5 seconds of gameplay. And with this discovery, Poink would spend the next 2 weeks grinding away at the level. Except unknown to Poink, Land US would also discover this same skip, but 1 week after Poink. Land US though had over 4,000 hours on Geometry Dash, while Poink only had a little over 1,000. And with that huge gap in playtime, no one could predict who would be the first to get this run. Days, then weeks went by, and finally, Land US got a run that would change everything. Land US's PC exploded. A perfect run fumbled by the fragility of his computer. So, out of rage, Land US got his laptop and tracked down Poink's Roblox account and found him playing a game while he was taking a break from speedrunning the level. He spied on him for days, weeks, and then at long last, he got something. He caught Poink typing and mentioning his Discord username in chat. This gave Land US all the information he needed to destroy Poink. He messaged Poink on Discord telling him he was a fan of his speedruns, got to know him over time, slowly gaining his trust, all so he could distract him from getting the world record speedrun on Unnamed Zero. And at long last, he got on a call with Poink, revealed his true identity, and challenged him to a 1v1 on Roblox Rivals, with the winner being forced to give up speedrunning forever. Poink was shocked, but agreed with Land US's request, and the 1v1 to decide everything had begun. It was an intense battle, but ultimately, Land US reigned on top, forcing Poink to give up speedrunning forever. Except Poink had one last thing to say.
So, I might have been hiding something from you. You still think you have the world record, don't you? But I actually discovered you hacked your world record speedrun and had your mom beat the level for you.
Poink had made an exposal video showcasing video proof of Land US's mom playing for him using the secret camera that he had installed in Land US's home. And because of that, Poink was exposed for being a stalker. And in the end, everyone lost and the world record holder ended up being Free Cheese because he was the only one who didn't get cancelled in the end.